Good morning, America. Today is Friday, April the 20th, and it is 11:16 a.m. We're going to be doing 2, maybe 3 tapings this morning. We're going to start off with the first SS. This is coming from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 8. And it says, "The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our God shall stand forever." The grass withereth, the flowers fadeth, but the word of our God shall last forever. So whatever laws Moses gave us in the biblical time, these laws stand today, regardless of whether we follow them or not. They last forever, and they are to be used today if we choose to, which the world has chose to neglect the ordinances and the commandments and the statutes and the laws of God. We pay a heavy price for it. We pay a heavy price for it. So one law, I will remind you of that law today, and that law stands forevermore. And you can break these laws if you want to, but there is a price, a heavy price to pay for breaking these laws. Okay? So, like this sound saying says, "The grass withereth and the flowers fadeth, but the words of God last forever." They stand. That's what stand means. They are forever. Okay? 2. It's coming from Joshua chapter 1, verse 5. "As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee." Okay? So as he was with Moses, so will he stand with Joshua. So will he stand with every servant upon this land in any time. Today, tomorrow, when we're gone, there will be servants on this land that belong unto God, and he will stand with them as he stood with those that came before us, with those that was in the biblical time. He stands with us. Period. Okay? I'm going to put this aside. We are in the tail end of section C, and after this reading, we will start section D. But section C ends off with a king. Visitation upon a king. He can come and visit you or intercede in your life, be it good or bad. Good will be a blessing, bad will be a curse. Whether you are an individual such as Aaron and Marion, a nation of people such as the Israelites, a prophet on his own such as Balaam, another servant, Moses, another servant, Aaron, a city, the wicked cities of the biblical time. We read Deuteronomy 29. A land, Deuteronomy 29 again. And now we're going to talk about a king. Okay, and we're going to be reading from 2Chr.25. Put that away. Now, I have some information that I'd like to share with you about this king that we're going to be reading about. His name is Amaziah. Amaziah. His name means Jehovah is strong. Amaziah means Jehovah is strong. He was the king of Judah in 2 Kings 14. he kills his father's assassin in 2 Kings 14:5 and 6. I have taken the liberty of writing those two verses down because I believe they are important, and it was in my spirit to share it with you. But I began with verse 2, 3, 5, and 6, and here they are. 2 is silver for history. 2 Kings 14:2 is talking about Amaziah the king. He was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 29 years in Jerusalem. Okay. 2 Kings 14:3, some more information about this king. And he did that which was right in the beginning in the sight of the Lord, yet not like his father David, but he more so mimicked his father Joash. He did everything as his father Joash had done. Okay, so he didn't exactly mimic David, but Joash was also a good king, so he mimicked his father. That was read for discipleship. 2 Kings 5 is black for sin. Now it happened as soon as the kingdom was established in his hand, that he executed his servants who had murdered his father, the king. Yes, his father was murdered. He was executed. And those that were responsible for the death of his father, when he became king, he dealt with them efficiently, and he executed all those servants that had anything at all to do with the death of his father, which is a good thing. However, as it says, because he did that which was right in the sight of God, he executed only those involved in the assassination of his father. He did not touch the children of those that were assassinated, because it is the law of God that he are not to touch the family or the children of those that committed the crime against his father, the king. And it says this in 2 Kings 14:6. It says, but the children of the murderer he did not execute, according to what is written in the book of the law of Moses, in which the Lord commanded. This is a commandment by God, and it is yellow for family. Fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor shall children be put to death for their fathers, but a person shall be put to death for his own sins. Okay? So he did not touch the children of the ones who murdered his father. He just dealt with them directly, as it should be. All right? Now, while we're on that topic, I listen to the news all the time, every day, several times a day. And there's a thing called Be Safe. Yesterday, Be Safe gave you some advice which was against the laws of God. And the advice was that if you are attacked, that you are to kick the man in his stones, and it even had examples on how to accomplish this task. You are to take your knees and kick the man in his groin area, in his private area, an area according to God that is a holy area. That is the only holy part of you. We have one thing on our body that is extremely holy. In a woman, it is her vagina. In a man, it is his testicles. And according to God, I'm going to read this both ways. The old school way from the thou shalt not, and the new school way from the New International Version, so that you can comprehend and understand that this is a law of God. Okay? So sometimes man can tell you to do something that is against the laws of God, in the same way that man says to you, you can marry your brothers, you can marry your sister, you can marry your dog. You can leave all your belongings to that beast, though you may have children, though you may have a wife. Though you may have other family members who are in need, but you leave everything you have, most of the time, millions, to a beast. Which is an abomination unto God. Okay, I will read this to you. It's coming from Deuteronomy 25:12. It's under miscellaneous laws. There's nothing that we need to deal with on earth that is not covered in this holy book. Let me read it to you. It says, in Deuteronomy 25:11, if two men fight together, and the wife of one draws near to rescue her husband from the hand of the one attacking him, and put out her hand and seize him by the genitals. This is Deuteronomy 25:11. Pick up your Bible and read it. Okay? If two men fight together and the wife of one draws near to rescue her husband from the hand of the one attacking him, and put out her hand and seize him by the genitals. 25:12. It says, then you shall cut off her hand, whichever hand she used, to grab that man's genitals. If she used one hand, her right hand or her left hand, that is the hand that should be taken off. If she used both hands, then she should lose both hands. And then it says, then you should cut off her hand. Your eyes shall not pity her. You are not to have any pity for her. First of all, she shouldn't have got into in between two men fighting. Period. A woman should never get try to stop a fight between two men. Never. And if you do, you are not to touch the stones of the man. Okay? I will read it from the New International Version for those who just don't believe. Okay? Coming from the New International Version, this is how it's written. If two men are fighting, and the wife of one of them comes to rescue her husband from his assailant, and she reaches out and seizes him by his private parts, Deuteronomy 25:12, you shall cut off her hand, show her no pity. That is a law of God. I don't give a hoop about the laws of man. I try to follow those that are good, right, and logical. Period. They have to be good, they have to be right, and they certainly have to be logical. Just because man says you can marry your sister does not mean I'm going to fly over there and find a sister to marry. Absolutely not. I treat my sisters like they are sisters to me. If they're younger than me, young enough to be my daughters, then I treat them like my daughters. Young enough to be my grandchild, I treat her like my little grandchild. But as far as laying with her, absolutely not. Okay? And I'm old school. There used to be a time, and they still do it today, where older women would try to intimidate a young girl just to turn her. Okay? I've been there too. Done that too. And what did you do? You show them your 5 sisters right here. You let them know right here that this thing here is a straight thing, and you can't make it cricket. Okay? Find another target that is easier to intimidate. But these 5 here and these 5 here, they work, they get the message. They get the message. And that old woman, who was just as beautiful as Lena Horne herself, backed up. I was 99 pounds. Okay? But once I give you a knuckle sandwich, you get the message. Serve it up right. All right, let's get back to the king. He was rebuked by a man of God. We're going to read about that in 2Chr.25, 7-10. He worshiped Edomites' gods. He started off right. And somehow, some way, he got derailed. And he went over to the Edomites. He overpowered them. He took their gods and he made them his gods. Okay, he started off like his father, but it ended up like Saul. All right, he was killed by conspirators in 2Chr.25 and 28. It don't pay. It don't pay. It don't pay to forsake God for something man has made. Absolutely not. It doesn't pay in the biblical time, and it doesn't pay now. All right? And he was a priest of Bethel. And Amos 7:10-17. All right. Now that we're done with the introduction, let's get into the reading. All right. In 2Chr.25, it says Amaziah reigns in Judah. It says Amaziah conquers the Edomites. I told you that. He overpowered them. It says Amaziah is conquered by Israel. And Amaziah is assassinated after he started, taking on the gods of the Edomites. Okay? So, in this particular chapter, there are 28 verses. We have silver for history, red for discipleship, black for sin, yellow for family. We have gold for prophecy, pink for witnessing. We have some brown for Satan, and we have a large amount of history starting from 21 to 28. It's all history. And as always, we will be reading it from the Old Book Bible as well as from the New International Bible. And I will start off always with the Old. Verse 1. Amaziah was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Jehoadan of Jerusalem. Jehoadan was his mother's name. Okay, let's read it from here. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother's name was Jehoadan. She was from Jerusalem. Verse 2 is read for discipleship. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, but not with a perfect heart. So he mimicked his father, but he didn't mimic David, the king. He mimicked Joash the king, but not David the king. And David the king was the one who was a friend of God. David the king did not stray away from God until he got into his elder years. And he started marrying these strange women. And he started making gods for them. Okay, so let's read 2 from here. He did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, but not wholeheartedly. 3 is black for sin. Now it came to pass when the king was established to him, Now it came to pass when the kingdom was established to him, that he slew his servants that had killed the king his father. Let's read it from here. I can move this over a little bit. History. After the kingdom was firmly in his control, he executed the officials who had murdered his father, the king. Okay, we have only one verse here with uppercase lettering, and that's the one I'm about to read now. I'll let you know when we get to that uppercase lettering. But he slew not their children, but did as it is written in the book, in the law, in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, but he slew not their children, but did as it is written in the law, in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, here comes the uppercase lettering, the fathers shall not die for the children, neither shall the children die for the fathers, but every man shall die for his own sins. That's what God will hold you accountable for your own sins. And those he holds accountable are all of us, but his servants, he holds them on an even higher standards than his saints. Okay? I will read that again. But he slew not their children, but did as it is written in the law, in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, saying, the fathers shall not die for the children, neither shall the children die for the fathers, but every man shall die for his own sins. Okay, so let's take it from here now. We can move closer. Yet he did not put their sons to death, but acted in accordance with what is written in the law, in the book of Moses, where the Lord commanded, fathers shall not be put to death for their children, nor children put to death for their fathers. Each is to die for his own sins. All right, let's move on to 5. Moreover, Amaziah gathered Judah. This is silver now. And made them captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, according to the house of their fathers, throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found there 3,000 chosen men able to go forth to war, that could handle spears and shields. So he had a huge army. His army was just stupendous. He had a huge army. Okay, that's why he numbered his people from 20 on up, and all those strong, able bodies became part of his army. Okay, 6. He hired also 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel for 100 talents of silver. So he paid 100 talents of silver for an additional 100,000 mighty men. That goes to tell you how large his army was, okay? Because he already had among his kingdom 300,000 chosen men, okay? So he went and brought another 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel for 100 talents of silver. All right, so let's take this here from 5 to 6. Amaziah called the people of Judah together and assigned them according to their families to commanders of thousands and commanders of hundreds for all Judah and Benjamin, throughout all Judah and Benjamin. He then muttered those 20 years old or more, and found that there were 300,000 men ready for military service, able to handle the spear and shield. 6. He also hired 100,000 fighting men from Israel for 100 talents of silver. He hadn't done anything wrong yet. Let's continue. 7, 8, and 9 is prophecy. Okay? But there came a man of God to him. Okay? In the biblical time, the king was always a good king. Was always close to a servant of God. This is why I got so excited when Obama was running for president, because this would have been the first time in a modern day time that a president, a candidate for president has someone closer to him than the vice president, and that was the prophet Jeremiah White. Okay, so this is the reason why I was in the projects till 10 o'clock at night, signing up people to register to vote. But I spent 20 to 30 minutes just persuading these young men who had no felonies, no criminal records, found them in the projects. Okay? Whose words to me was, my vote don't count. I had to go through 20, 30 minutes of persuasion to get them to fill out the registration form. It was worth it. Those 20, 30 minutes of persuasion made everybody ask for a pen and a slip. Okay? So it was worth it. Okay? Because I thought we had something special going on with this new black president. Huh? Okay, here it goes. 7, but there came a man of God to him, saying, O king, let not the army of Israel go with thee. Okay, so remember, he went and got some 100,000 of the people of God to join his army. All right. But the man of God came to him and said, but there came a man of God to him, saying, O king, let not the army of Israel go with thee, for the Lord is not with Israel, to wit, with all the children of Ephraim. Okay, so he says, don't let this army that you just paid for go with thee, because God is not with them right now. Or what he said, the Lord is not with them right now. You know, the Israelites were constantly provoking our God, constantly. So this was what, this must have been during the time the Israelites had provoked God, so he wasn't with them. All right? So he was warning them, warning the king, don't take this group that you just purchased with you. I'll repeat again. But there came a man of God to him, saying, O king, let not the army of Israel go with thee, for the Lord is not with Israel, to wit, with all the children of Ephraim. 8, but if thou wilt go, do it, be strong for the battle. God shall make thee fall before the army. If you go with strength and courage, but you will certainly fall. God will make you fall before your enemies. He warned them, and he told them the outcome. He warned them. He warned the king, and then he gave the king the outcome. If you take them with you, this is what will happen. You will fall before your enemies. No doubt, for sure, certainty, this will happen to thee. All right? Let's read it again. But if thou go, do it, be strong for the battle. God shall make thee fall before the enemy, for God has power to help and to cast out. Did I not say God has power to help and to cast out? This is the same God now. He don't change like man does. He doesn't change like each new president changes the laws, changes everything the former president done. God isn't like that. If he says nay, it's a nay forever. If he says yay, it's a yay forever. Okay? For if thou wilt go, do it, be strong for the battle. God shall make thee fall before the enemy, for God has power to help and to cast out. 9. And Amaziah said to the man of God, but what shall we do for the 100 talents which I have given to the army of Israel? And the man of God answered, the Lord is able to give thee much more than this. So he's saying to the man of God, what should I do? Because I have paid all this money for this army. And what does he say to them? He says, God is able to give thee much more than what you just paid. God is able to give thee much more. You paid 100 talents. God is able to give you 2, 3, 4, 500 talents more. Okay, let's read it from here. 7 to 9. I moved that. But a man of God came to him and said, O king, these troops from Israel must not march with you, for the Lord is not with Israel, not with any of the people of Ephraim. 8. Even if you go and fight courageously in battle, God will overthrow you before the enemy, for God has power to help or to overthrow. Okay? 9. Amaziah asked the man of God, but what about the 100 talents I paid for these Israelite troops? The man of God replied, the Lord can give you much more than that, if you what? A heed to his warning. If you what? A hear his warning. Okay? Today you don't get a warning because these mega pastors are too rich to give you anything of value. Okay? They start off strong for God, but as soon as the ducats start coming in into the millions, you get bits and pieces and scraps of the word of God. Okay? Let's move on. 10 to 13 is more silver. Then Amaziah separated them, to it, the army that came to him out of Ephraim, to go home again. Wherefore their anger was greatly kindled against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. Okay, so he sent them home. He sent every last one home. And they all went home with an attitude. It don't matter. People will get an attitude with you when you tell the truth. It don't matter. Okay? Because I don't work for thee. I work for the one I can't see. All right? So, I got to read that one again. Amaziah separated them, to it, the army that was come to him out of Ephraim, to go home again. Wherefore their anger was greatly kindled against Judah, and they returned home in great anger. He didn't even ask for the money back. He just sent them home. Okay? 11. And Amaziah strengthened himself and led forth his army, and went to the valley of Sah, and smote the children of Seir. 10,000 of them he smote. He killed 10,000. 10,000. He had 300,000 an army. He killed 10,000 of the shears. Okay? 12. And then, and other 10,000 left alive did the children of Judah carry away captive, and brought them into the top of the rock, and cast them down from the top of the rock, that they all were broken in pieces. So those that he took captive, he threw them over the rock, and they all ended up with broken necks. Okay? 13. But the soldiers of the army which Amaziah sent back, that they shall not go with him to battle, fell upon the city of Judah from Samaria even unto Beth-horon, and smote 3,000 of them, and took much spoils. Okay, so let's take it from here, from 10 to 13. Yeah. From 10 to 13. So Amaziah dismissed the troop who had come to him from Ephraim, and sent them home. Okay, they were furious with Judah, and left for home in a great rage. 11. Amaziah then marshaled his strength, and led his army to the valley of Sah, where he killed 10,000 men of Seir. 12. The army of Judah also captured 10,000 men alive, took them to the top of a cliff, and threw them down, so that all were dashed to pieces. Okay, 13. Meanwhile, the troops that Amaziah had sent back and had not allowed to take part in the war raided Judea town from Samaria to Beth-horon. They killed 3,000 people and carried off great quantities of plunder. Okay. We are on 14, 15, and 16, and that is all brown for sin. We're going to have to do this in two readings. So we will stop at 16, and then I'll come back and do the second half. Now it came to pass after that Amaziah was come from the slaughter of the Edomites, that he brought the gods of the children of Seir and set them up to be his gods, and bowed down himself before them and burnt incense unto them. Okay, now in verse 14, he's going down. He's going down now. He's done an abomination unto God. He is going down. Okay. 15. Wherefore the anger of the Lord was kindled against Amaziah, and he sent unto him a prophet, which said unto him, Why hast thou sought after the gods of the people, which could not deliver their own people out of thy hands? Why have you started worshiping these false gods of the people who was unable to save their own people from your hands? These gods were not able to rescue their own worshipers from your hands. Why are you bowing down to them? That's what he said. Here come a smart mouth. 16. And it came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, Art thou made of the king's counsel? Forbear. Why shouldest thou be smitten? Then the prophet forbade and said, the prophet said, Who made you the counsel of the king? Forbear, that means be quiet. How he say? He got arrogant. Who made you the counsel of the king? Be quiet. Okay, let me read that again. And it came to pass, as he talked with him, that the king said unto him, Art thou made of the king's counsel? Forbear. Why shouldest thou be smitten? Then the prophet forbade and said, I know that God has determined to destroy thee, because thou hast done this, and hast not hearkened unto my counsel. I know that the Lord is intended on destroying you, because you have done this, and you have failed to take my counsel. Let's read it from here. 14 to 16. When Amaziah returned from slaughtering the Edomites, he brought back the gods of the people of Seir. He set them up as his own gods, bowed down to them, and burnt sacrifices to them. 15. The anger of the Lord burned against Amaziah, and he sent a prophet to him who said, Why do you consult these people's gods? And these are lowercase gods. Okay? He said, Why do you consult these people gods, which could not save their own people from your hands? 16. While he was still speaking, while the prophet was still speaking to him, he interrupted him and said these words. The king said to him, while he was still speaking, the king said to him, Have we appointed you an advisor to the king? Stop! Exclamation mark. Is there an exclamation mark here, God? No, there's no exclamation mark, so there should be not one here, because generally a king will not yell at a servant of the Lord, period. You don't yell at a servant of the Lord, period. You hear me? While he was still speaking, the king said to him, Have we appointed you advisor to the king? Stop! Why be struck down? So he offered to kill him. Stop! Why be struck down? Why be killed? Stop. Okay? So the prophet stopped, but said, I know that God has determined to destroy you, because you have done this and have not listened to my counsel. So, it pays America of 2018. It pays to listen to the little voices that are trying to speak unto thee, because those other ones that you have so much respect for, they have too many thousands of dollars in their account, they could care less if you hear the word of God. They could care less. Literally. They are in business for themselves. And it's all about this here. It's not about this here. It's about this. Those are the ones you love. Okay, keep loving them. In the meantime, the ones with the little tiny voices that you ignored, I'm going to keep on rolling with it. Okay? I'm going to keep doing my job because I want to get to heaven. And I want to hear those good words, good and faithful servant from my God. So if I say something you don't like, let me tell you how I feel about it. I could care less. All right? I care about and I love my God with all my heart, soul, and every being, every strength in me. So I will do as I am told. If it scratches the behind of anybody that hears me, it is your spirit that convicts thee. I am just a messenger and the reader. Thank you very much for listening to Spiritual Water. I pray that the peace of God be upon thee, the protection of God surround thee, and the will of God for your life come from thee. Because now the harvest has never been larger. The harvest is large. There are few laborers. God needs laborers willing to read his word, use his instruments given unto us long ago by our beloved Moses. And in the meantime, may you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.